What's going on, trappers? This is Tommy Egan. Welcome back to J Will Trap TV. If you want to help me take over Chicago, make sure to hit that subscribe, and pull the notification bell.
So you know when we go live or make a new video. Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to J Will Trap TV. We are back with that Crown Vic review. Yes, that mid-season finale for Power Book Force. Got a lot to unpack here, so let's jump right in. Let's go. So we start the episode off back at the family safe house with Tommy and D-Mac, and they are both stressing about what just happened with Seamus's death. Tommy tells D-Mac that he has to listen and lay low, and that Diamond is handling the body. We switch over to treason, and the situation with Jenard is down bad. Jenard has lost so much respect that he can't even get bricks loaned to him on the streets. The streets has found out that Jenard is on the drugs, and no one really wants to touch him right now. He's even told by his own crew that Miguel is no longer fucking with him. Jenard ends up begging his people to stay loyal, and he's gonna take care of them. They don't seem too convinced. Things aren't looking good for treason. We switch scenes and we go to Diamond's favorite diner. Diamond gets a message that a man named Sid is, on his deathbed and he's gonna pass away soon and that Diamond should go see him. Diamond says he doesn't fuck with this guy. So it turns out we find out later in the episode that Sid is Diamond's father. Next thing you know, there's a shootout from a rival gang, and it turns out these guys are some boys that had split from treason and went back to one of the older gangs, which we will explain later. Diamond grabs a gun and he fights back, but the assailants get away and multiple people inside of the diner are hit and Diamond assists. We go to Tommy meeting Diamond in the barbershop and we find out that Jenard's old crew has flipped to RD. So that was another gang. There was a big split before CBI, so there was another gang called RD that split into RD and CBI, and it turns out now that treason is split, some of those guys went back to the original RD instead of fucking with CBI. It is at this point that we hear what the goals for the remainder of the season are. And it sounds like that Diamond, he wants to reunite some of these old crews. So he wants to reunite RD with CBI and have a big coalition. Diamond asks Tommy what he did about D-Mac, and Tommy says that he's handling it, and he's asking D-Mac to lay low. Well, Diamond points out the window and we see D-Mac talking to the police. Tommy takes D-Mac back to the house again, and we have another tense scene. Tommy has D-Mac up against the wall. He's yelling at him. He's telling him that he has to listen. He has to stay here, that, he's going to get killed if he keeps on making these decisions. And then JP comes in and he's like, Tommy, get your hands off my son. And he wants to know what this is all about, but Tommy refuses to tell him at this time. So we go to Vic and he's walking down the street, and him and Claudia, they're still plotting against Walter. It looks like they're trying to set up a dinner meet for tonight where they will initiate a hit on him. The cops pull up and they bring Vic in for questioning. If you remember in the last episode, that woman named Alicia snitched on Vic for that murder in the first season, so now he's gonna get brought in. We go to questioning and they are questioning Vic, and Vic is pretty much like, yo, where's my lawyer? Because Vic won't budge, DeFranco talks to Stacy, and Stacy tells them that they need to let Vic go, and they're gonna put him on a rope and use him to capture and get more evidence against Tommy and CBI. DeFranco is really concerned about Stacy's motives. He's saying that, hey, you're so desperate to become the mayor that you're just kind of letting anything happen. We switch over to Kate and D-Mac, and D-Mac tells her about, how he stood up Genesis. Doesn't go into the murder business, but says that he stood up Genesis for the second time, and he's worried that he's not gonna have a chance with her now. Kate says that he should go see her, but he says that he can't because Tommy's ordered him to stay in the house. So Kate says, I'll handle Tommy, and gives him a $20 bill and tells him to go get some cigarettes and take as much time as he needs to do it. So we switch to Jenard, and he's walking through his old block, right? And everyone that he walks by is like, why is this guy here? They don't say anything, but Big Smurf walks up and he's like, bro, you in the wrong hood, you're not welcome here anymore. We see that Jenard gets a text from Mirko and he still wants that money, so Jenard is under a lot of pressure still. Jenard hops in a car and he robs a woman named Manny. He takes some drugs for her and he takes her chain. Now this is gonna have major repercussions, I'm sure. So right after this, Jenard goes back to the crew with those bricks that he took from Manny, and he gives them to the crew, and he says that these are for Miguel, and that Miguel still fucks with him. So he lied to these guys, but immediately they call him out, and they go like, yo, why you got Manny's chain? Jenard makes an excuse for having a chain, but it doesn't seem like these dudes are buying it. They are not trusting Jenard, just the way they looking at him every time he walks away. And eventually, the news is gonna get out that he took these bricks from Manny, so we gotta keep an eye on that. So we go to Claudia's, and it looks like this shit is happening. Brendan is here, and he's brought the best assassin. Remember, we heard that we had the best assassins from Dublin last season. Remember those guys? They were called the Four Horsemen, and two of them didn't even make it to the shootout. But now we got the best assassin. And this dude, he says if those dudes were the Four Horsemen, that he's the apocalypse. So we're gonna see. These guys set up the plan to nail Flynn, and we end the scene. And pretty much what's gonna happen with that is they're gonna send a hit on this guy while they're at dinner at his house. So we go to Diamond, and he is calling Kilo in prison. he had a phone sent to him, and this is the guy who's in charge of the RD guys. So he's trying to work with this dude to set up this coalition. Kilo's down to revive the coalition, but he wants half of the profits from prison distribution. Tommy's over here listening to this conversation, and he hangs up the phone. He does not want to give up the distribution that easy. Diamond then asks Tommy about what he's doing with D-Mac again, and Tommy's saying he has it handled, but Diamond is saying if he doesn't have it handled, he's gonna have to handle it himself. So I'm over here looking at Diamond like, bro, you ready to kill kids, but you can't stand up to Tommy? Come on, man. So we go to Maria, and this is a weird scene because she has a fight with, remember, Kendall, and he turns out to be a surgeon, and this is her boyfriend. But she asks him if he loves her, and he's not really able to, commit. And well, she goes like, well, they're both wasting each other's time, and she apologizes for wasting their time. He's upset. He follows her out the room, follows her outside of the hospital, trying to grab her and talk to her, but she throws his arm off of him, and she walks up to Miguel, and she hops in the car. Miguel is like, hey, do I need to talk to him? Because he just seen him grabbing his sister all crazy. And you can tell that Miguel is not going to let this go that easily, even though Maria tells him just to get in the car and drive. Now, as far as the breakup goes, remember, she did, hook up with Tommy as far as, kissed and stuff like that, but this was fast. Kendall didn't even give her a reason to slip up, for her to break up with him. She just wanted to change. So we'll see where this goes. So we go back to Claudia and Brendan, and Claudia, she has a lot on her mind, but this fool Brendan, he's trying to hit the sheets. So they have a quick sex scene, and when I say a quick sex scene, this dude Brendan, they made Brendan look like a minute man over here, right?
How much for a room?
It's $10 a minute. But you look like a $5 brother.
Thank you. I'll be right back.
So they finish, and then Claudia, she's over here thinking, and Brendan goes like, what are you thinking about? And then she's like, I'm thinking about my first move as the head of the Flynn organization. And then Brendan's like, yeah, girl, hey, no, the Dublin guys, they're not, nothing's changed. Those dudes are old school. They want to work with Vic. They don't want to work with you. So Vic is going to be the one who's going to be the head. And this pisses Claudia off. He tells her that as long as Vic is alive, that she'll never be the queen. We go back to Diamond at the barbershop, and even Jesse in the barbershop, the old guy in the barbershop, he's telling Diamond, hey man, Big Sid's on his deathbed, you gotta go see him. And Diamond's still, resistant to going to see his father. We don't even know it's his father yet, but he's still like, nah, I'm good. But Diamond does end up calling Jenard, and then he calls Shanti. So we go to Jenard and Shanti, and it turns out that Diamond made that call to Shanti to let her know that Big Sid is on his deathbed so she can let Jenard know what's going on. She tells Jenard to go see him. She also asks Jenard if he's on drugs again, and he denies this. Once Jenard hears the news about his father, he ends up leaving too. So we go to Diamond visiting Big Sid, and here it is where we find out that this is his father, and they have a really bad relationship. Turns out Big Sid left them, when Diamond was young, and things have never been good since. The two have a tense exchange about their past, and this causes Big Sid to go into cardiac arrest, and he's shouting at Diamond to leave the room, and we end scene. We go back to Brendan and Claudia, and he tells Claudia that there's been a change of plan, that they're moving that hit up 30 minutes. So she needs to make sure that Vic gets out of the house by 8:30 instead of 9 o'clock. Claudia hears this information, and it doesn't seem like she's gonna make Vic aware because remember, she wants Vic dead now so she can be the queen of the organization. We go to Vic and Walter, and it turns out Polly's back in the house. So it looks like I told y'all, Walter went and got Polly and they cool again. So when Vic sees Polly there, he tries to convince Polly to go home. He tries to make an excuse for him to go grab a different bottle of wine. And Walter's like, no, there's plenty of whiskey, we good. Claudia calls Vic to check on the hit, and Vic lets her know that Polly is there, but Claudia does not tell him about the change of plan. We go back to Tommy's, safe house. Tommy is pissed off because he's disobeyed him yet again. JP wants to know what is going on. He's saying he should be the first nigga to know about his son. So Tommy finally tells him that D-Mac killed a cop. He says that if he doesn't take care of this, they will lose everything. They'll lose the bar. JP will lose the care for his father. Everything will go down the drain for even him and Kate. JP says this is all Tommy's fault because he brought D-Mac into this, but Tommy said no, that D-Mac continues to choose his life, and this is, he's making these decisions to keep on making these mistakes. Tommy then texts Big Smurf, and he asks him to do something. So I'm starting to get worried about D-Mac right here. I'm getting worried. So we go back to Walter's, and they're having dinner, and we start hearing gunshots. Walt checks the security system, and we got hella dudes in, fucking black running through here. Polly, Vic, and Walter start to get ready to hold off the assassins, and they go out with a bunch of weapons. Polly goes out shooting, and he's killed pretty quickly. He falls into a pool, and he's dead. Walter comes out, and he kills the apocalypse, the greatest assassin in Dublin gets taken out by the oldest man in Chicago. Well, not the oldest, but look, he got taken out by Walter pretty easily. So Vic comes out and he tells Walter that all of this is his fault. He tells him that Polly's death is his fault. And Walter's pissed because he feels like Vic betrayed him and he feels like he should have just stayed working with Claudia. Vic lets him know that Claudia is actually the one who set all this up. So Walter, he's a defeated man at this point. He tells Vic that he has his mother's eyes, and Vic ends up shooting him dead right there. So man, there goes the end of the Walter. Well, not the end, but that's the end of Walter being in charge of the, Flynn family. So we go to Jenard, and he's looking for more heroin. He knocks up on the dealer's door, and it turns out that the dealer just sold all the heroin to a white dude who just walked up. So Jenard's, he's like, fuck. So he goes out there, he talks to the white dude to get some heroin, and he hops in the car and he makes a deal to give up Manny's chain for a hit. So he gets some of Homeboy, it's in the baggie, right? So Jenard starts snorting it up, but then Homeboy's like, bro, you wasting it doing that. You gotta hit it through the needle. And I'm like, no! So right here, bro, this dude all of a sudden pull up Jenard's arm, tell him he got a clean slate, and he slides that needle in, and Jenard just like, I'm just like, what the fuck did you guys do to the best character on the show? What the hell? They just turned him into a druggie. So now we switch over to Miguel, and he's paying a visit over to Kendall's, nice high-rise apartment. He comes in, Kendall comes in, and pretty much Miguel breaks both of his hands, And so we find out this guy's a surgeon. So he just broke both of his hands, just pretty much, for him witnessing, them getting into an argument. So this dude Miguel is pretty dangerous. I don't know what Kendall's gonna do after this. I don't see him going away at this point, so something's gonna happen. So we go to Vic, and Vic, he is waiting at that pub. He's pulled up to the side, and he's watching through the rearview mirror to see if Claudia ever shows up. Because remember, she told him they were gonna meet at this pub so they can establish an alibi after his murder. But now, she's not there. So Vic is starting to think that she betrayed him. So we go to Genesis, and they at the park, and they dancing and stuff. And it's nighttime now, Kate sent D-Mac out way earlier, but D-Mac is just catching up to her. It's nighttime. That bro should have went and found her much earlier. So he's approaching the park. He's about to go talk to her. But then next thing you know, Van pulls up, Big Smurf and a few other goons hop out. They put a bag over D-Mac's head. They throw him in the back and they drive off. So I'm like, goddamn, I'm worried now. I'm like, okay, is he dead? What's going on? So we go to Jack, to JP, and Tommy, and he gets a text saying that it's done. So I'm like, did they kill D-Mac? But then remember, guys, remember Power Book 2? Y'all gotta remember Power Book 2, what happened with Effie and Lauren, right? Remember when she pistol whipped her and drove off, and then they were like, yeah, I took care of it. Everybody thought she was dead, but then next season, what do you know? She's alive. So we have to learn in Power, if you do not see a body, they are alive. If you don't see a body, they are alive. Remember, if you do not see a body, they are alive in Power. So JP's like, I don't think I can keep this a secret from Kate. And Tommy's like, he needs to, because Kate's gonna fuck this all up. So they're really making it sound like your boy D-Mac is dead. So we go back to Claudia's house, and Vic comes up that elevator. Claudia and Brendan are shocked. They wanna know what happened. And Vic is like, yo, I was there when that hit went down. And then Brendan's like, we moved the hit up a half an hour. And he turns to Claudia and he asks her, why didn't you tell your brother about the hit? And she's all like, and then she tries to lie and mix up the story, but before he can get what he has to say out, she shoots him right there in the head. So Claudia over here covering up tracks in real time, but it's not working, because Vic, he didn't buy it. You could tell. He gives her a hug, she's crying, and we get that, image from the trailer, but you can tell Vic is worried. Vic thinks that she's trying to kill him. He does not trust her. Claudia, you're in over your head. That's the, you know what I'm saying? It's the same move you did with the doctor, when you just did it, you because of your screw up, you just went and shot somebody. And the person you just shot, that's a dude you can't shoot. See what I'm saying? If Dublin is supposed to be what they are, now we already took out Dublin's best assassin, so I don't know who else they're gonna send. But Claudia just made a bad move. So we go back to the hospital with Big Sid, and he wakes up in the hospital and he looks to the right, and Diamond is there sitting. So Diamond did not leave after he went into cardiac arrest. He stayed there, and he watched over his father. Tommy also comes to the hospital to check on Diamond. Diamond tells him about the situation with his father, and Tommy lets Diamond know that he had to get rid of D-Mac. Diamond seems sorry, but he's not that sorry, and he tells Tommy that this all started from you killing Chewie. So, okay. So Tommy goes back to the safe house, and Kate is there now, and she's saying, I can't get a hold of D-Mac. I've been texting him, I've been calling him, and he hasn't gotten back to me, and this is not how he is. And Tommy's like, hey, you should probably, continue to expect that for, going forward, that this dude's not gonna respond to your texts and calls. And Kate's like worried. So she's like, what happened? And Tommy's like, he deliberately disobeyed me, and you assisted him. And she asks where he is, and Tommy says that he's gone. So Kate is like, I've raised animals. I can't believe you did that. She's fucking pissed. She's looking at this like this is her grandson, was just killed by her own son. And JP comes in and says that, well, Kate never really raised them in the first place. So they kind of come down on Kate kind of hard. Kate says that she's not gonna let this pass, and Tommy says that she will do nothing. And if she does something, he will do something else that he doesn't want to do. So he pretty much just threatened to kill her or make her disappear. So now we go back to the hospital, and Jenard has showed up at the hospital, and it turns out his dad has passed before he can come say his goodbyes. He was too busy, shooting up Heron, etc. Him and Diamond talk out their issues, and Jenard agrees to come back to CBI. But I don't know, I don't know if we want this Jenard. Look at Jenard, he all sweaty up in this bitch. I don't think we want Jenard. Look what they did to Jenard, y'all.
Huh? Oh! I'm Tyrone Biggum. I heard that I can win a lot of money and I get a pig testicle dinner with all the fixings.
We switched to Kate. We see that Kate's using, so we just got a bunch of druggies around this bitch. What's going on? So then we switch to the black van. We go to the black van. They open it up. We got Big Smurf. He opens it up. And D-Mac is alive. He hands him a phone. He talks to Tommy, and Tommy says that he had to do this and that he has to stay where he is. Then we find out that D-Mac has been choded. Yes, your boy Tommy pulled a ghost and choded your boy out to a youth academy, right? So Tommy sends him to a academy called Great Shores Youth Academy, and I have to go look this up. It turns out it doesn't exist, or at least I can't find any information on it. But he's out in the middle of nowhere at a youth academy, similar to kind of, how we did Tariq. So I wonder if D-Mac is gonna start moving weight at the academy, if he's just gonna lay low, if we're not gonna see him for a while. I don't know, we'll see. So now we switch over to Vic, and he has gone back to the police station. He's meeting with Stacy, and he tells her that his own sister's trying to kill him, and that Gloria wanted him to get out the game, and that he wants to keep that wish because, he doesn't, his father was killed and etc. He says that he wants full immunity, and he will help bring down Claudia. Stacy said he's gonna have to go a step further and infiltrate CBI and help them bring down Tommy and the whole CBI organization. So I'm like, what the fuck? God damn it, come on, bro. Now they better not let Vic infiltrate CBI, okay? That just don't make no sense. We already got one white boy. If these dudes let another white boy in and bring them to the top of the organization to the point where he can bring it all down, bring down everything, that's gonna make for a bad. The power community is not gonna like that. I'm gonna say that really loud. The power community is not gonna like Vic being able to infiltrate CBI and bring it all down, okay? So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully Vic comes off of this idea and him and Tommy become friends or so, I don't know. But look, it was getting good and then they made a left turn and I'm like, what the fuck? Now, I do want to see where this, coalition thing goes, because I think that's the next thing, we're past the Liliana's thing. Walter Flynn is now dead. So the only thing we have left is we got Claudia still going to try to, be in charge of this organization, but there's gonna be some fallout from Brennan's death. I don't trust Claudia to move a body. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust her to move a body. I don't know if Vic helped her when he was upset, but something's gonna happen. Those Dublin dudes are gonna come sniffing around looking for that guy. We also got treason, right? So you remember Jenard lied to treason. He took that chain from Manny. He gave the chain to a druggie. I think that chain is pretty important. She said that her father gave it to her. I don't think anyone's gonna let that go. I'm surprised we didn't hear any information from Big Smurf, or Manny didn't talk to Big Smurf about the robbery, because it happened right there in the middle of daylight, right in the middle of their hood. So we got to see where that shit goes, y'all. So, I like this episode overall. I'm kind of glad we killed two people we killed half of the people we deal with from the Flynn family. We killed half of them today, right? Well, actually more, if you call them Brennan, but we killed Paulie and Flynn. We killed Paulie and Walter, right? We killed Paulie and Walter, so that's 2 out of 4 of the normal Flynn people we deal with. All we got now is Claudia and Vic. I don't think Claudia is going to be able to get through this season now that, she's made this huge betrayal. We'll see. Vic was saying that he wants her to go to jail, but I don't think it's gonna be that easy for her just to go to jail, because I think death is, what we Power fans like. We like to see people dead on the floor. So, her going to jail is not gonna be good enough. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, put a notification bell so you know when I go live or make a new video. All right, guys, peace.